Hey, and welcome to The Office Field Guide. My name's Chris, and I'm reviewing every episode of The Office ever. And today, we're looking at the hot girl.
You're like the new and improved Pam. Pam 6.0. Oh.
Yeah, that sounded kind of wrong. But the way I name these field guides, there's no way I could prevent clickbaiting. Anyway, Hot Girl was written by Mindy Kaling and directed by Amy Heckerling. Okay, because I'm not going to do a rewatch series for season 2 just yet, we're not really going to do a comment contest today, but I still will put in a Hidden Stanley, so if you want the street cred, find it first. Today we're going to be talking about Amy Adams, we're going to be talking about incentivizers.
Ooh, you're not prying this out of my hands.
And we're going to be talking about predators.
Katie.
Ah, Katie. Wow, look at you. Just do it.
And stay tuned to the very end of this episode for a special message to those who are watching these videos in order. And be warned, there may be spoilers for the series ahead.
Warning! 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 Warning!
And with that, let's get right into this really cringy episode.
It's
Dwight,
okay.
Dwight.
It's,
Okay, that's it. Keep it in your pants. I understand nothing.
All right, Hot Girl is the lowest rated episode on IMDb until season 6's Mafia.
They have no idea what happened.
And in fairness, the pilot episode is rated lower, but not by much.
Pudding.
And see my thoughts on that episode in that field guide. Interestingly though, when I first released the review for this episode, it had significant traffic, and I'm not really sure why. But then I remembered this is the internet and the name of this episode is Hot Girl. Right, so if you're here to check out Hot Girls, well, who am I kidding? You probably dipped out the moment you saw me.
In order to get hotter, you take glasses off.
But let's talk about Dwight's perfect woman.
The perfect girl for me would be Kuniko Taka. She's also a survivor of monster rape.
If you're following along, we saw this anime girl in Dwight's shirt in the basketball episode. As far as scantily clad drawn women go, we find out later that Stanley...
No. It's called hentai, and it's art.
also is a fan. And the hot girl in this episode is portrayed by Amy Adams, who's kind of a big deal these days. And it's a little jarring to see her in an episode of The Office, a series that was pretty against stunt casting for the first 4.5 seasons.
Push the reverse button! Reverse the button!
But at that time, she really was a relative nobody, says a guy on YouTube talking about The Office. I get the irony, but the point is that she only had a series of small roles on television shows, as well as a small break in Catch Me If You Can.
It's my first week. I think they're gonna fire me.
You're a jerk!
And I'm guessing here that her part in The Office was one from her few minor voice acting roles in King of the Hill, the series that Mike Judge and Greg Daniels created. So while it's kind of jarring for us, this wasn't really stunt casting, as Adams wasn't really a big deal, and she does look quite different from her role in Catch Me If You Can.
I really think those braces look good on you.
Thank you.
But it wasn't long after her time on The Office that she got the role as Susan in Talladega Nights and just blew up from there.
This is awesome. Are you climbing on the table right now? You seem kind of hysterical to me.
My favorite role of hers is the docile and kind of sad portrayal character she played in Arrival. And she's pretty great. But other than that, this is the first time we see an outsider get to react to Michael and Dwight.
Cock in the hen house.
Cocks in the hen house.
Don't say cocks. Oh.
And Michael is borderline unbearable in this episode.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. What year were you there?
89.
Toby's divorced. He, recently, right? You and your wife?
But more on that later. In spite of that, it's not all bad. I love that in an attempt to find something sophisticated in his mind, Michael reaches for this.
I do my best to be my own man and go by the beat of a different drummer, and nobody gets me.
And you can tell that we haven't found our permanent home in Van Nuys yet. This always trips me up. I do love the early characterization of how the Schrutes have a different way of looking at things.
Amazing breasts. Not for me, for my children. The Schrutes produce very thirsty babies.
And while watching that clip, you might be blown away by Dwight's candor. But I love watching early Creed be weird without any lines. And there's an ongoing bit in The Office in which Kevin at Pam's desk can be a bad thing.
She's prettier than you, though.
That's a very rude thing to say, Kevin.
This does remind me of being in middle school. I'd go to the malls and I'd buy some smell-alike cologne for myself or for gifts for my parents. They were always in a dollar store and they always wore off after a minute or two.
There, now you may throw it out.
I never really knew what the stuff was made of. And Michael's immaturity is shown in this episode with this statement.
What flavor?
Blue.
Blue's not a flavor.
It says flavor, Blue Blast.
Oh, Blue Blast, yes. Put that in the trunk.
As well as the messiness in his car. And I've never really understood Michael's messiness. And it's not just because from this point on his car is completely clean, but mostly because salespeople, at least the ones I've interacted with, keep pretty clean cars, just in case they need to give a client a ride or something.
Look out for Legion! Michael! Are you okay? Swim for it!
And this hasn't come up yet in this series, but I love coffee. I'm not really a snob, but I do love a good cup of coffee.
With cream and sugar?
And I share this deeply private part of my life with you to help frame this.
At the end of the month, you can reward your top seller with a prize worth up to $1,000.
Whoa, howdy ho. Wow, 1,000 big ones. That's cool. Do I get to pick the prize?
Why is this a thing that companies do? I'm sure if you polled everyone who could win the prize, they'd want the $1,000. They don't want your incentive prize. They want the money. Why is this a thing?
What about a gift basket full of cash?
Yes! Cash basket. Nice work, Tuna.
But let's talk about that in a deeper meaning.
What does a bean mean?
Someone please explain it to Kevin.
There's a motif in this episode showing incentives and decisiveness.
Decisiveness. One of the keys to success, according to Small Businessman.
So I thought it'd be fun to look at what really motivates people to be decisive. When discussing what motivates people, Dwight says,
Torture.
we'll call that punishment. But then Michael points out later,
Coffee is the great incentivizer in the office.
and we'll call that reward. But these are usually simple on the surface. Call it karma, heaven's will, laws of the universe. Do good things and you'll get good things. Do bad things and you'll get bad things. But it gets muddy when you start talking about people's motives.
Moms, primarily?
Rewards and punishments seem to be the basic motivators in all cultures throughout history. It's a thing that people have argued about for ages. For more on this, I would beg you to go watch The Good Place. It's a great show. But the basic idea is, if somebody does something good only because they want a reward, did they really do something good? On the contrary, if someone abstains from doing something bad only because they want to avoid punishment, did they really do good? Or was it just for selfish reasons? Thus, I think when we look at this episode, we do get some insights on the decisions that are being made and what incentivizes them. And it's interesting to see how this all plays out. The bonus is an incentive to get the employees to work hard.
It's a drug. It is quite literally a drug.
Michael's motivated to get Amy Adams' attention.
I am going to break some rules. Toby's divorced. What's up? Whoa! Oscar! Well, bloody blue to blah blah. Techno babble. Slaves. What?
Okay.
Okay.
And it is interesting that Michael's drive to please the purse peddler is at a higher priority than his employees.
I thought that was the incentive prize for the top salesperson.
Very easy to clean. Okay. Like he's gonna win anyway.
And since both Jim and Dwight make moves on Lois Lane, we'll put them in there too.
No.
I'm just here to learn.
Okay.
So I know about most of these, but
Okay.
Though Jim's motives are a little bit more complex. They might be more of an attempt to move on, or possibly take a silent jab at Pam, which would maybe shift him from being incentivized to a motivator. Pam sees that, though she's not motivated enough by Jim as a reward to act, fearing punishment from Roy. Roy seems to be motivated by punishment too.
Man, I would be all over that if I wasn't dating Pam.
We're not dating, we're engaged.
Engaged, yeah.
Then is rewarded when he behaves accordingly.
Come on, Pammy.
And then the purse lady. I always feel kind of bad for her. She's just coming here to do her job, not to get asked out by every dude in the place.
We ride home and we stop for coffee and ...
But then, I also want to say she knows exactly what she's doing. So, reward for her? So what's the point? What's the message? I mean, so much like season 1's content, it's a look at humans in this modern world and what motivates us to perform. Chris's opinion, there should probably be a healthy balance between the threat of punishment and the promise of reward. Like wings of an airplane, if one falls, it's probably not gonna operate that well. Me, for example, sometimes I'm just in it to win it. Sometimes I'm just in it to not get fired.
Did I just clean out your desk? I'm sorry.
But for now, let's rate this thing.
This is the worst.
Guys, I am so tired of season 1, and I'm not trying to let my bias show. Looking through this episode realistically, never mind how exceptionally low the IMDb score was, the exceptionally low viewership, and my own experiences with season 1.
What am I gonna do with a removed uterus?
This is not a good episode of The Office.
God.
I can imagine a universe in which the premise for this episode aired in season 2 or 3, and it would have landed just fine. I mean, in a sense, The Fire explores a lot of the same plot points, and it does it so much better. Michael in this episode doesn't really give me the lovable buffoon, village idiot, or really even a David Brent feel. He gives me a creepy predator vibe.
Where are you going? Nearby? Because I can give you a ride.
No.
And the lighting is strange in this one. It's very warm, and I'm not really sure it was intended to complement Enchanted's hair, or if they were just still exploring their lighting options. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure I'd call this episode my least favorite episode of the entire series, but it's up there, or down there, however you want to phrase it.
Way beyond my vocabulary.
I know where this is going.
Do you?
No.
I'm giving Hot Girl a 1 out of 5.
Torture.
Come on, Dwight.
And I'm getting the heck out of season 1 as soon as I can. But that's just what I think about Hot Girl. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. If you completely agree with me, please validate me in the comments. It's a great motivator. If you completely disagree with me, please tell me why in the comments. I want to hear why you think this is a good episode of The Office.
Sex.
And if you're still with me watching these videos in order, I need to give you a heads up. I started this series with season 1 in 2019, and in this year, 2021, I wasn't quite satisfied with how season 1 felt, as they didn't really vibe with how I'm making videos these days. So if you're watching sequentially, there's going to be a different format from season 2 and kind of half of season 3, and then you're gonna see me again.
They have no idea what happened.
I'm having a blast making these videos, and I'm sure I'll give certain episodes in season 2 a rewatch treatment at some point also.
Hey, Jan. Hope you brought the milk duds.
So for now, let me plug 2 last things. Check out our Discord to hang out with other fans of The Office and of the channel. And if you want to support my channel, please check out the Patreon page. You can submit mini reviews that'll appear in future episodes. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who's watching this stuff, and we'll see you next time.